Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the show. It is Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. I'm your host, Josh Reeves, and I'm back here with you, ladies and gentlemen. So glad to be back here with you, back broadcasting from the studio. Been back here for a few days now, and glad to be back in my place. Glad to be back here with you again. I hope you're all doing well out there. Got a lot of news and a lot of topics and a lot of stuff to get into here for you as usual tonight. So strap it in, get ready, and let's do this. Glad to be back here again. Let's finish. Been quite the interesting month. Tell you what, and not just, with the stuff, obviously what's been going on with my crap, but I don't know why it seems obvious, but it hasn't seemed as obvious to me, the distractions they put up and stuff, as much as the stuff that's gone on in the past month. You know what I mean? Like, since the supposed, alleged death of Epstein, it's just been fascinating to me that how many distractions and attempted distractions and things they've thrown out during that time in such a short amount of time. And also how quickly people, no matter what it is, just move on to the next thing. And if you think for a second that just moving on to the next thing idea isn't being pushed, and you think it's all just a natural thing that's happening with all humans, well, I'm sorry, you're sadly mistaken. I mean, not even barely even a month ago, 3.5 weeks ago, whatever it was, right around the time when the whole debacle with the power situation here at the studio happened. And it's crazy, the stuff that's going on then. It's like people don't even care. Remember people were talking about right around that time, was talking about Dave Chappelle's new special or whatever, and people forgotten about it now. And people aren't even talking about it. People have moved on to whatever the next thing. It's just quickly to see, and just to see all the different types of distractions they've attempted to hit us with since the Epstein thing broke out. And it's interesting to see that, I mean, you're always going to have the mainstream of people that are going to let go, but it's interesting that I'm glad that this is a topic that, a lot of people are not going to let go of. I'm certainly not going to let go of it. And a lot of other people aren't too, but I don't know, just they hit us with that Dave Chappelle thing, and they hit us with, and I told you, I put up the Lost Show last night. That was the show that I recorded just shortly before my power was cut last month. And, I talked about the Dave Chappelle thing in there, the Paul Mooney stuff. And then they hit us with one with a distraction that even somebody like me who's been looking at this stuff for a long time couldn't have predicted. I got to be honest with you, I didn't see this one coming. Did not see this one coming. Genius, though. Genius. But did not see this one coming. I did not see the chicken sandwich scenario coming into play. I did not see the Popeyes chicken sandwich hysteria card. I did not see that one coming. I just didn't. I don't think anybody could have seen that coming. Even if you had a fucking crystal ball, you wouldn't have seen that motherfucker coming. Go look at the dates, man. I'm serious. See, this shit happens. Everything just blurs together. After a couple of weeks, stuff just, when was that? Yeah, I remember that. And you don't really remember. A lot of people don't really remember or don't pay attention at the time, because you're just living in the moment day to day. You don't really pay attention at the time to, what's the significance of certain things happening in close proximity to each other. And I still think that's why you have celebrity deaths, happen at a certain time, and why you always see them come in threes and stuff. I don't think any of that's chance either. But the chicken sandwich thing, man, didn't see that coming. Didn't fucking see that. Go look at the dates. Go look at the dates of when the Epstein, when he supposedly died, and then go look at when the Popeye's chicken sandwich was launched. Go look at that shit. I'm telling you right now, you're laughing. Motherfuckers think you're really crazy now. You start talking about the Popeye's chicken sandwich conspiracy, dog, but I'm all about it. I'm telling you right now. Nobody saw that shit's coming. Popeye's chicken sandwich conspiracy. I'm calling it right here, dog. I'm calling it. Bring on the motherfucking chicken. Why do they always do that with chicken? Remember they did it with Chick-fil-A a couple of years ago? People were all mad because the churchies didn't like the gays. I loved that when that happened because I straight up said the first day it happened, I said, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if they like gays, don't like gays, not make a fuck to me. Give me some goddamn good fucking chicken. That motherfucker. Give me some goddamn. Give me all right, here's my order right here. You ready for this? 12-count chicken nugget. I want the ones fried in peanut. I want them grilled, healthy motherfuckers. Fuck all that. I want 12-piece nugget. Chick-fil-A deluxe with cheese sandwich. And Arnold Palmer, half lemonade, half tea. Fuck yeah, that's the move at Chick-fil-A. And I'll tell you what, when I talked about that shit, I'm not even kidding you. When I talked about that and I said that, when that shit happened, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, some 6, 7 years ago, maybe now. I got I got donations in probably about 10 or 12 different ones that were all like $10, $15, $20, all, but every one of them said, hey, heard what you said about Chick-fil-A. Here's some Chick-fil-A money. Man, I ate Chick-fil-A for like 2 weeks. I ain't even kidding you. Listeners paid for me. I did too. I straight up used it for that. When motherfuckers sent a donation that said, this is for Chick-fil-A, every fucking last one of those, I took that money and went to Chick-fil-A and got Chick-fil-A. I shared sometimes. Sometimes I got stuff for other people too, you know. I didn't just get stuff for me. I'd go and, hey, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. Who wants something, you know? But I did too. I don't remember what exactly that was when that happened with the whole, you know. Because, hey, I fucking rail against those fucking, you know, evangelical crazy right wingers, and I've been exposing the CMP shit for 12 years. But, you know, listen, let's, you know, are we really going to do this? So ridiculous. Just one of the many ridiculous things, I guess, that we're now being fucking subjected to in our society. But, you know, this whole thing with, I'm not going to like a company, I'm not going to buy a company's products because their beliefs don't line up with mine. I mean, do you really expect every product you buy to be produced by somebody who has the same belief system as you? If that's true, quit driving your fucking car. You think the fucking oil companies care about gays? You think big oil companies care about social justice warriors and all this shit? Fuck no, but you still drive a fucking car, don't you? You still put that fucking oil in your car. You put that fucking petrol in your car, don't you? So what about that? What about, I mean, we could go on and on. We could sit here and go all day. It's just ridiculous. But I did too. Every fucking contribution I got, I said, hey, go get some Chick-fil-A. I went to fucking Chick-fil-A with every single one of those donations too. I swear to God. If it came in and says Chick-fil-A specific, that's what it got. That's what it went to. All right, I'll do what you say. But, yeah, that chicken sandwich, I'm telling you, man, that Popeye's chicken sandwich conspiracy, it's real. The hype is real. I'm calling it right now. They're going to bring it back too. They literally, the whole entire company in their like, I don't know, their food distribution service, they ran completely out of the materials to even make this shit. They've got to like build a backstock up before they can offer it again. So now that you heard it here, hilarious. Got to be one of the funniest conspiracies I've ever fucking talked about. That's fucking hilarious. The goddamn Popeye's chicken sandwich conspiracy. I'll tell you what, you're going to roll that motherfucker out again. They already said they're going to roll it out again. So they're going to roll that motherfucker out again when they need a real, whatever the next distraction they need is. Obviously, the newest one is all the impeachment talk and all the, the stuff about Trump talking to the Ukraine about Biden's son and all that shit. Listen, those Ukrainian motherfuckers, they're all in bed. Me and Brisson found that shit when we were doing our research. They're just as connected to all the mafia, Russian mafioso shit and the Mountain Dew shit and all that stuff. It's all mafioso at the top, man. It doesn't matter what country you're talking about. It's just this illusion that it's not to the eyes of some people, and how some people just can't get their, it's all fucking mafioso at the top, dude. All the way across the board in any country. Honestly, to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with what he did. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I honestly don't have a problem with what he did, and I'll tell you why I don't have a problem with it. The reason I don't have a problem with it is because this shit goes on all the time, every day, in every part of the fucking world. You think these motherfuckers aren't calling each other up and saying, hey, how about this? Talking about shit, making decisions behind closed doors, making decisions that nobody knows about? Sure they are. All the time. And not only that, it is just another distraction. But the reason why the Democrats are shitting themselves and wetting themselves over this, and why you've already seen fucking Hillary, I mean, she's, if she could fucking still get moist in that old decrepit box of hers, she'd be moist right now, I'll tell you what, and this is why. Because with the others, as I told you before, with the other, the reason why nothing ever came from the fucking obviously fixed and staged from beginning, Mueller Russia probe thing, it's because it was intended to fail. They're going to expose their own cells. They're going to investigate their own cells and expose their own cells. Give me a break. Now, because that would expose the whole corrupt system. Left, right, doesn't matter. Show they're all in bed with these guys. They're just in different factions. That's all it is. Left wing's in bed with the Russians, right wing's in bed with the Russians. They're all in bed with the Russians. They're just in bed with different factions of those. The question, they were just asking the wrong question from the beginning. It was set up. They're asking, did Trump collude with Russia to fix the elections? That's not the question you should have been asking. That's not the right question. Of course he didn't. Trump did not collude with Russia to rig the elections. But they even said in the report that they still found evidence of Russian meddling. That's why they've never been able to stick anything to the Russian government itself, because the Russian government isn't themselves doing this. Yes, they're involved to a certain extent with stuff like the FSB and all that, but for the most part, that's what these mafioso and Russian mafia ties are all about. These guys, it's been happening for years. The CIA and organized crime have been working together for years. So the CIA and Russian mafia and stuff have worked together for many years. It's no different. But the reason why they're fucking all jizzing their fucking panties over this Ukraine thing is because it's something they can hang over Trump, that by exposing won't also expose their corrupt crimes and their connections to these Eastern European factions. So that's why they're fucking coming themselves right now. Probably this will end up being nothing, but like I said, the difference here with this is that, they're saying it's not legal. I don't know. But at the same time, listen, I'm not defending the guy. But at the same time, that dude don't know shit. He don't care about shit like that, even if it is illegal. He's going to check with anybody. Hey, before I call up I'd like to call up the president of Ukraine, Could someone please tell me if this is legal or not? You think fucking Trump's sitting around doing some shit like that? Fuck no. Fuck no. Act first, ask questions later. That's his motto. He's just still running shit like he's running shit at Trump Tower. And he forgets, I think, a lot of the time, oh, wait a minute. I'm running the fucking country here. I'm not running this. And because he seems to be operating on everything he does from the same standpoint he was when he was operating his businesses. I've noticed that. I think he just called these motherfuckers up like he would, like he would call up the head of some company. Hey, listen, what do we got to do to make this happen? You need some cash, you need some bitches, you need some fucking blow. What do you need? I can send over whatever you need. We just need help, and we need you to fucking, find some shit on this drunk ass Hunter Biden. What you got? Help us out here. You need weapons? Whatever you need, I'm your guy. I'll give it to you. Weapons? You want bitches? You want women? I'll send Ivanka over. She'll suck you clean, and we can get this done. I can get back to business. I can't do a very good Trump impression, but you get the gist. So, all in all, I have to say all this. Just another massive distraction. They're still trying to distract away from the Epstein stuff. They're still trying to get people focused on other things so that we don't continue to ask questions about these other things that they try to sweep under the rug very quickly. Did you guys see... I don't know if you guys saw this. God, it's been so long. I guess it was last month. I was talking about, I remember I was going off about Sam Tripoli and Eddie Bravo. And I was talking about Sam Tripoli. I'd heard him multiple times quoting my shit on shows. I got to say, I've listened to him after that. And he's knocked that shit off. So he's clearly listening. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you not quoting me and misquoting me and not giving me credit for the quote. I appreciate you not doing that anymore. I noticed, sir. I did notice that. I'm still not a fan of you. I think you're a fucking total... I think he's just a dumbass. Really. Same thing with Bravo. The same with Eddie Bravo. I don't think they're shills. I don't think they're in the same category of shills like a lot of other people are. They're just dumbasses. And for some reason, people find them entertaining. I mean, listen, Eddie Bravo, hey, I can't say anything about, as far as it comes to like jiu-jitsu and all that. I mean, the guy's a master when it comes to that, but, I mean, he's the fucking Walter White of jiu-jitsu. I'll give him that. But he just latches on to any fucking thing. Well, anyway, Alex Jones did like two separate shows. You can find them on YouTube where he had Eddie Bravo and Sam Tripoli on. And I watched them both, and pretty interesting because Sam Tripoli, I kept waiting. I was like, oh, let's see what shit he pulls out that's mine in his broadcast. He didn't pull one single thing. I thought that was interesting. You talked about all this other stuff before. Now you're simply not talking about it after you got fucking called. Probably didn't think anybody was going to notice that, did you? But to me, he just acted like a total... He just seemed to be playing the part of the type of stereotypical goofball that they want to associate with this kind of information. But there was some interesting stuff in those broadcasts, I got to say. Some very interesting stuff in there. Everybody knows Eddie Bravo was big into Flat Earth. And Jones, I guess just especially because they were on the broadcast, ended up doing quite a bit of stuff on Flat Earth and ended up bringing one of the experts on or whatever. And Jones is still talking that smack he was talking about last time he was on Joe Rogan's show when he was talking about telling Eddie you want to put together some expedition to some Antarctic expedition. Jones is serious. He's saying he's serious about it and he's going to do it. He wants to do it. But I just thought it was interesting that all of a sudden Jones is, he's trying to, I think because he's lost so much I think he's trying to placate to flat Earth people now and try to make it seem like he's on their side and he wants to, get to the bottom of it. But really, you can tell. One thing I've noticed about Jones is he's changed a lot. I don't watch him very often. People send me clips of, hey, check this out. Did you hear this? So I'll go and check it out. But I have to say, since he's been deplatformed, there's a shift in his energy. There's something different about him. And dare I say there's something different about him for the better. I know that sounds like a shock coming from me, but there's something different about that guy. There's something different. There's something different about his approach. He seems to be like, I mean, I guess you could always really say he's always been a troll, but I don't think it was as much. I think he's gone more towards the trolling thing now. I think he's just going straight troll. And I also think he's trying to gain some of the flat Earth crowd on his side as well. And there's just a lot of things he was doing during that show, during those broadcasts. Like almost he spent more time random trolling and trying to do little trolling things during the show than he did talking about stories and stuff. I mean, I'm not mad at it, whatever. I mean, you know what I think about fucking Jones being exposing his ass longer than anybody. But I just kept doing little things like, he was telling, we got, they'd just be having a conversation, Eddie Bravo and Triple E, and so they'd be having a conversation. Just randomly, Jones would say shit like, Fidel Castro's grandson, he works here. Yeah, that's the guy in the back with the beard. And he'd play it for a little while, and he'd be like, I'm fucking around, I'm kidding. Oh, don't cut that out and paste it online, folks. And then he said, we got Hitler works here, or Hitler's grandson works here, or something. He kept doing little trolling things. I was like, man, this guy's he's just more, like, he seems like he's trying to troll more. And then it went on, and then he started doing this thing. He was like talking to this very racist, but hilarious. Funny how that works, isn't it? Sometimes people never want to admit that. Hey, I'll admit it. Sometimes, as long as it's not in if it's not in a hateful way, sometimes racist stuff is fucking funny. I mean, if you say it's not, you're just lying to yourself and you're trying to fucking not admit it to anybody. Hey, you got to admit, sometimes some racist stuff, as long as it's not being done in a hateful way, is fucking funny. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's funny. But Jones was doing this like very offensive. Look at that weirdo American. He's doing this like Chinese. It kind of sounded like a cross between Kim Jong-il and wannabe Chinese to me. It didn't really sound Chinese, but whatever. But he kept talking like this, and I know. And he's doing this character called the Chi-Com Dragon. Have you seen this shit? You gotta see this shit, man. Look up. I think it's probably YouTube. Look up Alex Jones Chi-Com Dragon, and he's like, he's doing the American. He did the voice, but it's like an animated dragon. It's kind of cute, actually, but it's got John talking in a very racist Chinese voice. Oh, you want fried rice? Oh, you fat Americans don't want to take our trade. We come and take you away and kill you with mobile killing. Those are my lines, actually. I don't remember what he was saying, but those are my made-up ones. But, hey, mine's pretty good, too. Maybe I should do one. Oh, we bring you to mobile kill van if you don't like it, you fat American. The Chi-Com Dragon. So he's doing that, and I was like, damn, dude, this motherfucker is just on a fucking troll roll, isn't he? And there was another thing, I can't even remember what it was. It was some subject. He said, hey, guys, did you hear about this, and this? And they were like, no. And they were like, bring up the article. And he brought up the article, and then he admitted right after that, oh, no, it's fake. We just made that's a fake article. Wait a minute, what? This is another span of one broadcast. And then if that wasn't enough, no, he wasn't done yet. Then he started talking about there was a petition going around to declare the moon to be the 51st state of the United States. And when he first broached the subject, he acted like this was just something that somebody on the internet cooked up or something, right? And he was reposting. Then he went on to admit, no, okay, I admit that this is This is me. I did this. This is our campaign. And he's selling shirts and stuff now. He started this thing, and I'm going, dude, you know, all that shit I found on Jones and his family tree, and stuff he's even admitted to, you know, the most powerful Masons in Texas that Jones is related to. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, you know, all those guys that supposedly went to the moon were all Freemasons. We know about the Masonic Nut-Rag of Jobulon fucking ritual where they wore the fucking aprons. They did a Masonic ritual on the air quotes moon. Yeah. So I was sitting there going, this is bizarre. But it's a real thing. He's really pushing. He's made t-shirts and he's selling t-shirts now. The 51st state moon t-shirts. Something's going on with him, man. I'm starting to think. And, you know, I listen. I started this. Tomorrow will be the 12-year anniversary of this show. Tomorrow is the 12-year. And for, I didn't come right out of the gates exposing Jones. It took about 6-7 months after I was on air. But, you know, I've always said controversial things. It's not uncharted waters for me here in this broadcast. But I got to tell you, I think it's possible that there's more to the whole deplatforming thing than we thought. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if God, it's hard to even fucking say this. It's hard to say it, but I got to say it because I believe it to be true. It's almost like it was more than just deplatforming. I almost think, because I'd seen this coming for a while. It seemed like it was coming for a while. Where whoever has been controlling Jones, and I don't think it's just one faction. I think there's multiple factions he's been connected to. But it almost seems like he got cut loose. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't see a lot of, you know, like you were used to seeing over a long time. You don't see the CMP connected people on his show anymore. You know, the regimes and a lot of the guards have changed on a lot of these fronts. You don't see him have a lot of the CMP types anymore. I'm not saying that he's not, definitely probably still connected to that group, but you see a lot less of that. His behavior has changed. There's something's gone on. I mean, it's still business as usual. It's still kind of the same old. I mean, it's still the same old Jonesy, and he's still spreading disinfo and stuff. But something's shifted. Something's changed. And I don't know. There's something different about him. It's possible that they may have cut him loose. It's possible that he may not be. I think here, if you want to know my theory, here's my theory. I think that a lot of factions within the whole truther community, I think like Jerome Corsi, for example, and Jones, and, you know, a lot of these other people that have been and have had associations with Russia for a long time, going back to the origins of the 9/11 Truth Movement in sort of the middle of the last decade, right about the time I started on this show. I think they really got close to being exposed. But, of course, we're never going to really be exposed because it was all just a sham anyway. But I think they got too close for comfort for them when all the focus went on the Russian probe and all that stuff. But, I mean, the shit that John Brisson and I have come, the shit we found. Definitely the connections to the Russia and stuff are there. There's no question about that, especially with Jones and many other truthers like Corsi and others. Those connections are there. That will all come out. We'll have a film coming out after the Spellcasters 2 and 3 are out. We'll have all this stuff in it. But I don't know. As far as agency connected now, I don't think Jones has the same connections he used to have, and I don't think he's associated. I think whatever factions he was associated with Control have cut everything. What's the word I'm looking for? Everything tangible. And again, that's not to say he's not still getting marching orders from the top. And it's not to say he's not still a stooge and a puppet for somebody. But I don't think the same fact. He may have even gotten cut loose. I mean, it's not uncommon. These guys do get cut loose after a while. They'll be, once they outlive their usefulness, if they don't have another area for them to transition into. I mean, it's just, we've talked about it a million times, but it's still, it's still one of our best example with the whole Chuck Barris, CIA assassin, Gong Show thing. That operation, when he was being used in, once that went away, he went back to a normal life. And I think that may have been the part of the whole thing with deplatforming Jones, because there's no question about it. That whole thing was just like I told you. I told you this 11 years ago. I told you there would be a staged, that the ascent of Jones would be a controlled ascent, and they would use him to try and launch a civil war. I mean, you got to remember when I was saying this 2008, 2009, fucking nobody wanted to hear it. Everybody said I was crazy. And even before you even started to see the signs of it happening, just from my connecting him to the CMP and connecting him to, the Turner Diary stuff and all those people connected in with the Truth Movement and all that, I started saying, they'll have a controlled ascent. They'll make him popular. They'll make him known. They'll use him for whatever the purpose is, to launch a new civil war, to create more division, whatever. And then, just as they controlled his ascent, they'll control his descent. They'll control his downfall as well. But no matter what, Jones would come out unscathed on the other side, and that's what's happened. I mean, when we watch his videos now, all his videos are titled, the most banned broadcast on the planet. I mean, come on. He doesn't have to share revenue with anybody now. I mean, he could try. Listen, I think the upsides of this whole thing for Jones far outweighed. And not only that, it took a lot of the stuff of people like me that had been exposing him for years. It all of a sudden made him look like he was a hero, and he was right by being deplatformed by these people. So all of this has been controlled. His ascent was controlled. His descent is being controlled. But I think it's possible that part of the deal, I think it's possible that they've cut him loose. And they've just, now he can do whatever he wants to do. He's not answering to any of these other organizations. That's not to say I don't think he still has connections to, because he even talked about it in those recent shows. He's got contacts. He's got people in the CIA and stuff. But I don't think he's being actively controlled and actively a part of any current operations that are going on within the CIA and stuff like that. I just don't think it is. I think they've cut those ties, and now he's moving on to this other thing. The other interesting thing, when they were talking at the Flat Earth stuff, and this got my attention, because I've got the little mobile rig now to record. I was talking about wanting to, go to some different things and do live broadcasts. And I got to tell you, there's two coming up. I mean, unless we get donations and stuff to do this, I won't be able to afford to go do this on my own. But if we can get the money together, there are two events coming up. One, I believe the first of next month, October, here in Dallas, and then another that I'll tell you about in a minute that they talked about on the Jones Show that's happening in November. And I would like to be able to go out to these and get we can get donations together, get someone to sponsor a table or a booth for me at these two events, and I'll go out and set up and broadcast live and see if we can bring on some people that are going to be at these events and just talk to them or whatever. But one is happening next month is it's called Alien Con, I think it is, in Dallas. I think fucking Tsoukalos and fucking David Hatcher Childress is going to be there. I'd like to interview him. I don't really care about these other people, but it might be interesting just to go and have a booth and do live shows and do live broadcasts from there, and just talk to people and interview people that are there as they come up and stuff. So I was thinking about doing that. And then this is what they talked about on the Jones show, and this definitely got my attention. So the guy, I don't remember the guy's name, whoever the guy was talking about Flat Earth that Jones had on with Tripoli and Bravo, he mentioned, because Jones said he's going to have him back on. He wants this guy to lay out everything and show him the evidence. Jones wants to become a believer. Hey, as we all do. I don't want to listen. I've stated my piece on the flat earth thing from the beginning. If you want to believe in that, hey, I hold nothing against you, man. That's your decision. But I'm not gonna actively endorse it, and I'm not gonna make it a part of my platform, because true or not, there's definitely a psychological warfare element to this. There's definitely a psyop element to this. There's definitely a divisional element to this. So for those reasons, I won't support it, and make it a part of my platform, and make videos on it. Shows that I'm not going to do it. I think there is something to it, but I don't think that any of the people that are supposed to be telling us the truth about it are telling us the truth, because I don't think anybody really knows. But I think there is something to it. I'll even do you one better. I don't even think it's flat. I think it's more like a fucking fish tank is what I think it is. I think we live in something like a fish tank. Might even be like square and shit like that. I don't know. So the reason I say this is because I have seen some of this footage of like the high altitude balloons and stuff that go up to the very top, threshold of the atmosphere and stuff, when they don't have the fisheye lenses in them, just have the regular lenses. And to me, it looks square. It's crazy when you get so high up there, because you can see, like, it looks like the rim. If you ever look in a fish tank, and you have a fish tank, and you have, there's bubbles coming up, there's water and stuff, the bubbles are coming up the water, producing oxygen and all that. And, you lift the little lid on top of the fish tank where you put the fish food in, and the fish kind of come up to the top. To me, the tip top of the atmosphere looks like that. I've seen footage of some of these balloons, and it just looks like it looks squarish. It's weird. It's like, dude, are we living? I think we're living in a fucking fish tank, dude. I think that's what's really going on. Fuck flat Earth. I'm going for fish tank Earth. That's what's got my vote. Fish tank, the Fish Tank Earth Society. Make those motherfucking shirts right now. We can pass them out. We're going to the flat Earth convention. Anyway, that's what I was getting to. They're having some kind of flat Earth convention that this guy that Jones had on to talk about. They're having some kind of flat Earth convention this coming November in Dallas, in here in my town. And the guy in Jones said he might be going out to it. And hey, listen, I get a table there and I see fucking Jones walking around. I will be, I don't give a fuck. I will be like, hey, Miss Jones, you want to come talk to us for a second? Oh, wouldn't that be fucking hilarious? Wouldn't that be just like an inadvertent throwdown? Oh, that'd be hilarious. No, I really do. I really, if somebody wants to, I'll find out how much it is. Maybe somebody else can look into it and find out too. I'll find out how much it is. And if somebody wants to sponsor a table for those events, I will go out to them and set up and do live broadcasts at them and just see who we can pull on. I think it'd be fascinating. It'd be interesting. It might be hilarious too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We might get some real, we might get some, you know what I'm saying? Some real, we might get some real tards. It might be some good information too. It might be some, I'm being optimistic about it. We probably would get some good stuff too, but that doesn't thrill me as much as, getting somebody on that's just a total tard. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Anyway, it's just weird because there's hardly ever stuff like this in Dallas, and just for there to be two back to back like this, and I'm sitting there going, man, it just doesn't seem right. They can be conspiracy events in Dallas, which they never have. It doesn't seem right that there can be events like that in Dallas and I not be there to represent them. I mean, motherfucker, I've been doing this longer than any of y'all. This is my 12th year. I don't know anybody in Dallas except maybe Russ Martin. Want to be Howard Stern. I don't know anybody besides him in this entire fucking city that's been doing a radio show of any kind for 12 years. I mean, I think that, I don't know. I got to get a little credit just for that. Let's get into the news here. Real quick before we get into the news. Again, this is our 12-year anniversary week. We've got the 12-year anniversary fundraiser going on right now. And, hey, let's get we need some seed money for the fucking Fish Tank Earth Society here. I'm telling you, I think it's a fucking fish tank. That's what I think. I think it's fucking wilder and deeper than, oh, you motherfuckers just think it's flat, huh? See, y'all are on the fucking, nah. Y'all are going far enough with that shit. But, I mean, hasn't that idea been floated around, though? I started thinking about that. That idea is not new, right? I mean, the idea that we are, you know, the possibility that we're living in some sort of, you know, fish tank for aliens, essentially. I mean, I think personally, it's just as plausible as anything else. It's just as plausible as, you know, Grandpa Whitebeard in the sky fucking magically farting out the universe in fucking 6 days and resting on this. I mean, you know, it's as plausible as anything else. It really is. And people have been saying that for years, you know, that, you know, maybe we live in this type of thing. I after seeing some of this footage, the high altitude footage and stuff, it didn't convince me that the earth was flat. Quite on the contrary, it convinced me that the people who are saying it's flat are full of shit. But the whole saying it's flat thing was concocted and created to cover up for what it actually is. And listen, I don't have any evidence or any case to make on this and really don't have a dog in that race. I'm just telling you my opinion based on what I've seen is, if you really want to get me to comment on the flat earth thing, I don't think it's round. I don't think it's flat. I don't think any of these motherfuckers are telling the truth, just like when it comes to anything else. I think it's something else even beyond that. And I think all of that shit has been created and concocted so people just don't look at it at all. You know, you question it's anything but round, well, you're just an insane person. And then they create this phony, you know, controlled opposition flat earth movement with all these sketchy weirdos that all can't decide between themselves what the real thing is. And this first, you know, it's just a big divide and conquer thing. Meanwhile, there is something to it, but that gets lost in the shuffle. And even if anybody does find any information that shows it may be something other than that, it's going to get lost in the mix. So, anyway, please contribute, please donate, folks. I've had a rough ride this month. We'd like to, you know, raise, you know, at least, well, next we don't have to pay operating costs. Operating costs are not going to be due until towards the middle of next week. So we're not worried about that until then. This week, though, you know, we haven't had a lot of movement this month. I've been out of my studio and out of my place and haven't been able to do a lot of broadcasts. But shit's about to start popping off. I'm going to be jumping back and getting to work on Spellcasters 2, and hopefully be able to have that out in the next 2 weeks. That's my goal. And yeah, man, I want to celebrate. You know, tomorrow is the actual 12-year anniversary, so we'll do a special show for that, and I'll talk about all that. But just please donate, contribute, you know, whatever you can. Be cool if we could, you know, raise half of our total goal or something this week. Britney Spears hasn't fully controlled her life for years. Fans insist it's time to free Britney. Yeah, I think they had a hearing or something on this, and they determined her mother still has to run it. I mean, listen, this is classic stuff for MK Ultra mind control victims. They oftentimes don't let them run their own lives at all, and they have people who, you know, come in and take over their stuff, and then those are the ones that always end up being the ones that get them hooked on the drugs, and then money starts disappearing and stuff. I mean, it happens again and again, but I think they've had to find new. I mean, listen, there's no question Britney Spears is an MK Ultra mind control victim. This is not even, it's not even up for argument. I mean, I talked about that guy. Remember that guy? So Sam Lutfi and all that. They've been doing this for decades. I mean, since the 60s. I mean, they did this exact same thing to Brian Wilson. You know, that was the exact same thing that they did to Brian Wilson. Right about the time they were, you know, started making a lot of money and becoming very popular. They got him all dosed out on the LSD. He snapped, didn't want to tour anymore, became a recluse, built the fucking sandbox in his house and shit, with a tent in it and all that. And, you know, had people controlling him. That Dr. Eugene Landy guy that was in his life for a long time. You know, same old shit. And that, the other guy, I can't remember his name, was that the guy that was a backup dancer that was in the Michael Jackson Neverland documentary, one of the two guys that accused him of molesting him, whatever one. I mean, if you watch that documentary, one of the guys he used to date Britney Spears, who was a backup singer and something for her and the Backstreet Boys stuff. I mean, that guy clearly, that's another one. That guy is also clearly an MK Ultra victim. And I think that's largely why him and these other, I think that's why they've come out about this stuff now. And why they waited until after Michael Jackson was dead to do it. Really, I think what they were exposed to and what Michael Jackson was connected to is this much larger thing that we've already discussed, you know, with Epstein and Weinstein and God damn, how many Jews are fucking molesters? That's just a lot of Jew names to say in one sentence when you're talking about fucking pedophilia and sex trade. You know, I'm not trying to hate on Jews, but goddamn, that's, you know, at least get an Irish or a fucking Italian name in there when we talk about these pedos. Why is it always? Why are they always fucking Jews? I know absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, I know, I get it. But that guy, clearly, you know, all this stuff is interconnected, and it reminded me of an interesting clip that I'm going to have. I guess it'll end up being in Spellcaster 3, pertaining to the whole fake Paul McCartney stuff. And I've got this clip. Oh man, this is so gold. You can probably even find this clip yourself. But you know, oftentimes people who are trying to conceal the truth rely on people's, either just lack of knowledge or, you know, being uninformed about what certain words and terminologies mean. And so after, you know, the breakup of the Beatles and stuff, you had, for a long time, nobody knew where air quotes, Paul McCartney was. And he ended up being, which is interesting because that's where the fake Paul, the replacement Paul, was said to have come from, was Scotland. And they ended up finding him. He bought this little farm, took Linda and I guess whatever kids they had at the time, and they were living on this tiny little, ratty little farm in Scotland. And you're thinking, you know, this is fucking Paul McCartney. You know, why is he living in this tiny little farm out in the middle of nowhere in Scotland where we're not telling anybody where he is? excuse me, out of the public eye for months and months on end. And of course, that was when he was going through more of the plastic surgery and all that. But what's interesting is, I forget who it was. It was Time Magazine, or I can't remember who it was. Somebody finally tracked him down. And tracked him down to the farmhouse in Scotland. And whoever it was had sent a film crew out there. And I'm sure you can find this very easily on YouTube. Just look up Paul McCartney, Scotland farmhouse interview, I think, first interview or something. And the interviewer asked Fall, why are you living out here? Why are you living out here? Basically in squalor. I mean, that was where he recorded the entire. This is crazy. He recorded the entire that first McCartney, the solo record, post Beatles, was recorded in that farmhouse. Maybe I'm Amazed and all that. That was all recorded there. But it was just interesting though, because he says why are you living out here? This, that, and the other. And he says, well, we don't have any money. We don't have any money. And you're thinking, what? Paul McCartney doesn't have any fucking money? How is that possible? All the other guys, go look at any of the Ringo, John, George. They all had plenty of money at that time. George was buying race cars, buying mansions. They were all, But Paul McCartney, all those successful songs, the Beatles the dude's got no money. He's got to take what little cash that he can scrub together and go move to some little tiny little farm in the middle of nowhere in Scotland. It doesn't add up, does it? Doesn't make sense. It also doesn't make sense that if he didn't have any money, how did he get, because I've seen the gear. I mean, how did he get an MCI mixing desk and a fucking, like an Otari, 8-track reel-to-reel or 16-track reel-to-reel or whatever he was using? He had all that. How did he get the big, the posh Neumann microphones? Who provided that to him? He didn't have any money, but somehow he had professional studio, on par with what they would use at Abbey Road in the little farmhouse. But this is a kicker from the interview. This is the part. Because when the guy asked him, or whoever the person interviewed asked him, says, why are you living out here? Why don't you have, this is because we don't have any money. All our money is well, you're, Paul McCartney, whatever. Well, all the money is tied up in receivership and things like that. And that's the key, receivership. Now, if you go and look up what receivership is and look into that, that's when a whole new perception of what he's really saying comes into play, and it's when you realize that ain't the real Paul McCartney, and that's why he doesn't have any money. And he tells you right there, all the money's tied up in receivership. Now, when you go look at what receivership is, it's a British term for what we would call a trust fund, essentially. And oftentimes when someone passes away, their money goes into receivership, which is a trust fund. And then once the will and all that is played out, that determines how the money is input out. He admits in that interview that all of his money, supposedly his money, if that was a real Paul McCartney, he would have had all his money right then and there. His money was tied up and he was forced to live in this tiny little farm in Scotland because he wasn't the real Paul McCartney. The money was in receivership because all the royalties and everything weren't coming out and being paid to this guy, because technically on paper, this guy wasn't the actual Paul McCartney. And that was the giveaway for me when he said, well, it's all tied up in receivership. Right, dude. Well, George's money wasn't tied up in receivership after the Beatles broke up. Neither was John's, and neither was Ringo's. George bought that big estate All the picket right before his first solo album came out, All Things Must Pass, remember? All the pictures from that are all taken at that big estate, that big, huge, multi-million-dollar estate, and he put that big-ass fucking vintage analog console in there and shit. Listen, those guys weren't broke. But Paul McCartney was, yet somehow someone provided him with this recording, which I assume the recording, since that recording was released under Apple, I assume that it was probably Apple recording equipment that they provided to him. But still. So again, that's the whole thing. The same thing with Britney. Now her money's it's in a trust. Somebody else controls it. And this is the goal, man. This is what they want to do with all of these people. That's why, the control goes that far. That's crazy. Deadly super mosquitoes that are even tougher, accidentally created by scientists ever bungled experiment. Didn't Bill Gates already do that? Created genetically modified mosquitoes and released them on stage 10 years ago? This is just not good. And fucking mosquitoes are bad enough already. Genetically modified mosquitoes that were designed by scientists to help populations decrease are actually thriving. Yeah, there was a bunch of that Monsanto. Monsanto's had contracts. Oh, gosh, I remember covering this on the show, 7-8 years ago, 2011, 2012. We were having a big mosquito problem here in the Dallas area. Listen, the city of Dallas has got fucking Monsanto contracts out the waz. And a lot of these so-called mosquito repellents and stuff that they're contracted with these cities to put out is Monsanto product. And it's been proven that they make these mosquitoes worse, and in some cases make them even stronger. God, really, if you were trying to engineer, if you really think about it, because there's still parts of the world I know, dengue fever, malaria. I know largely in Africa, but in other places too. I don't know, man. I think if I was, some diabolical fucking sicko quadrillionaire guy sitting up on the top of the fucking pyramid, I don't think that I could think of if I was really hell-bent on genocide, I don't think I could think of a better delivery system than mosquitoes. Because just naturally, unless we're controlling stuff with pesticides and controlling stuff with, not allowing them to have, because all they need is a little water, standing water, that's it. I don't know, man. I don't think there's a better delivery system for mass genocide than the mosquito. And I don't think any of these things that Bill Gates has done or anybody else has done have been an accident. This is according to new research that claims the plan to create gene-hacked mosquitoes that have offspring which die immediately has spectacularly backfired, and now scientists don't know what will happen next. The modified mosquitoes were released in Jacobina in Brazil and were supposed to mix with the local population and decrease numbers with their weak offspring genetics, although the wild population did plummet for a short while. 18 months later, it was right back up again. This is mostly concerning because scientists think the new super mosquitoes have properties that might make them harder to kill, and we're supposed to believe that all that's an accident, huh? Yeah. Not believing that for a second. I had a question the other day. This wasn't somebody I've ever heard from before, but I appreciate their their input nonetheless. I don't know why I had a little brain fart there. I'm just trying to find their message and where it was sent at. I can't remember if it was sent on this account or sent on that account. Now I can't find it. Oh, there we go. I'm going to say the person's name. Or says, hi, one of three having night of missing time with memory of in-between and x-rays of object in an arm. This happened in 1997 while living in the French Quarter. Also having a lifetime of high strangeness before and since. I accept no one's explanation upon hearing about us and absolutely all explanations about others. I don't know what that means. We lived in Alabama from 2001 to 2011. 12. Learning very quickly about that 33rd degree NASA land. Always creeped down out there. Also very high strangeness as well. If you're still reading, thank you. Also, this is the part I'm getting to. Because sometimes I like when this happens. The reason I bring this up, this is a good example of things that I like. I like when someone asks me a question about something. It's cool when someone asks you a question about something and you don't know about it, and you're like, no, I've never heard of that. What the fuck? I gotta go look that up, and you go look it up and you check it out, and it's either horse shit or it's something, or sometimes it's like, oh shit, there's something to that. And so yeah, this was a case of that. I love that because I've talked about this before. It's impossible for me to always know what you guys want to hear me talk about, and I don't always know what you guys know and what you don't know. So this is something I knew about, but I've never mentioned it or talked about it on the show. I guess I just never had like an entryway into talking about it. But so I very much appreciate this person asking me this question, so that I can share my knowledge of what I know about it with you. If you're still reading this, are you aware of NASA in New Orleans? Yes, I'm aware of NASA in New Orleans. We returned here in 2016 having most recent scary experience. Sir, this NASA has a huge movie production company and theater rivaling Hollywood. NASA CEO stated, yes, we make movies here, but I can't talk about it. Yeah, I know all about that facility, actually. It's fascinating. And it's called the Michoud Assembly Facility, the MAF. The Michoud Assembly Facility is an 832-acre manufacturing complex owned by NASA in New Orleans East, a district within New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States. Organizationally, it's part of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center and is currently a multi-tenant complex to allow commercial and government contractors as well as government agencies to use the site. The Michoud Assembly Facility is one of the largest manufacturing plants in the world, with 43 environmentally controlled acres under one roof, and it employs more than 4,200 people. From September 1961 to the end of the Apollo program in December 1972, the site was utilized by the Chrysler Corporation to build the first stages of the Saturn I and Saturn 1B, later joined by Boeing Corporation to build the first stage of the Saturn V rockets. From September 5th, 1973 to September 20th, 2010, the factory was used for the construction of the Space Shuttle's external fuel tanks by Martin Marietta Company, Denver, Colorado. This is a facility where some people believe that parts of the faked moon mission footage was shot. Now, I heard that the majority of it was shot in Flagstaff, Arizona, in a hangar where there's a 2.5 mile replica of the Sea of Tranquility. And that is there. I went to Flagstaff when I was filming for Lost Secrets of Ancient America, and I did not have a chance to go out to where it's at, but did confirm that it's there on the outskirts of town. They built a 2.5 mile replica of the Sea of Tranquility on the moon in a hangar, and it's still there to this day in Scottsdale, Arizona. But the reason I'm glad this person brought up this Michoud thing, this is where they basically, this is an important thing a lot of people don't know about. And why it's pertinent to what I talk about in my information is that I believe beyond any shadow of a doubt that this is when they get ready. This is where they're probably are now already starting to. This is where all the technology for the staged alien invasion is being created at. And I guarantee you're going to have Christopher Nolan. He probably already has worked there. But, I mean, listen to this. NASA has an agreement in place to rent out a portion of the facility to Big Easy Studios, a New Orleans film studio. This deal has been criticized by competing studios as violating NASA's rule that any deal with an outside entity must serve the agency's mission and not compete with the private sector. NASA officials defend the agreement, stating that this helps to offset the cost of unused space on the facility and that the pricing is vetted by state and local economic development agencies to ensure it is not competing with the private market. Right. Portions of Ender's Game, G.I. Joe Retaliation, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes were filmed at the factory. This is the spot, man. This is the spot. This is where they're going to be filming. Who knows what else? I mean, what other fakeries have been shot there that we've been shown? It could even possibly be deeper than that. It could be that all of the stuff that we see that's faked pertaining to space, whether it be like you see the Chinese spacewalk fucking thing and you see bubbles coming up to the top because they're in a fucking... Listen, you got to shoot in saline. If you don't want the bubbles coming up, you got to shoot in saline. Come on, the pros know that. If you're going to fake fucking space footage, you can't shoot it in water. You got to shoot it in saline because in saline you won't get any bubbles. Dumb motherfuckers. How come I know that and you motherfuckers faking this shit don't? God damn. I think about that sometimes, man. I see some of this shit, some of these fucking things these people do. I'm like, God damn. How is it that we know ways to fake this better than they do? Idiots. So yeah, I mean, it's not a conspiracy theory. Michoud Assembly Facility. Michoud. Look it up. Look into it. Look into it yourself. It's not a conspiracy theory. NASA has a massive facility in New Orleans where a massive part of it is dedicated to shooting and creating Hollywood stuff. They have a fucking fakery department, a Hollywood-style massive thing where they can fake and create anything that looks like reality, and it's in this fucking place in NASA, and it's not a conspiracy theory, and who knows what they've done and what they're going to do there. All right, folks, that's all I got left in the tank tonight. I want to just thank you all for your continued support, and I'm glad to be back with you again. I'm ready to start kicking some ass, so please go and make a contribution to our 12-year anniversary fundraiser. Tomorrow is the 12-year anniversary. So we're back up like a week out from operating costs being due. Tomorrow, I mean, I've never done this before, but I want tomorrow, since tomorrow, the 26th, is the goddamn 12-year anniversary of this show. I've battled it out. I've been here. Oh, so many shows have come and gone during this time. I've been here. I'm still fighting. I'm never going to give up. I've never done one of those fucking crazy, wild money bomb things like Jones does. But God damn it, it's 12 fucking years, man. And I wouldn't be here without all of you. And I've gone through so much shit lately, and I'm just fucking, I'm rested. I'm ready to fucking kick ass, man. I'm ready to get these films out. I'm ready to fucking just expose these motherfuckers on all fronts and flip the script and change the game yet again. But I need all your help to do that. So I'm calling on you all for tomorrow. I've got a big, awesome show planned for you guys. Some surprises planned for you guys tomorrow for the 12-year anniversary show. But tomorrow, officially the 26th, is Global Reality 12-year anniversary. Money grenade. They don't want to call it a money bomb, but an IED, improvised economic device. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. And just have everybody, every single person that's listening to this broadcast, your mission for tomorrow is just to contribute whatever amount you can. Even if it's $5, even if it's $1,000, even if it's $100, whatever. Every single person tomorrow for the 12-year anniversary of this show, you just put in what you can. Also, wanted to tell you for this week only, we've got the complete collection download in the download shop with all my films and all the presentations and all the audiobooks. The complete download shop, essentially. We sell that, it's for $175 in the store, and that's a huge discount off buying everything individually. But for this week only, in honor of the 12-year anniversary, we have got the full collection download on sale for you for only $120 in celebration of the 12-year anniversary. See what I did there? 120, 12. You see that? See what I did there? There you go. It's never going to be this cheap again. It's never going to be this low again. This is your one and only chance this week in honor of the 12-year anniversary to get my complete collection of work for only $120. So definitely get yourself that. And if you don't make a contribution, then get yourself one of those. Do one or the other. You know what I mean? If you already have all my work, you already have all my films and stuff, make a contribution. If you don't have all my films and all my audiobooks and all my work and you really want to contribute something, but you can't afford to make a contribution and get the download collection box set, get the download collection box set. It's never going to be this cheap again. It's going to go back up to $175 after this week. So get it while you can get it. All right. I love you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the 12-year anniversary. Take care.